Wednesday, everybody. We're back. Oh my god, it's been a hot minute. There were hurricanes and illnesses and scheduling issues and internet problems, but we're back with the full crew. Yay! Everybody's here. I kind of want to just dive right into it. I probably should have said that to you guys before we got on camera. I just kind of want to just dive into it since we shortened the last 2 episodes for various reasons. Not having the whole cast, and also a bunch of us had technical issues last episode as well. So I just kind of want to jump right in. We will go through and talk about what happened last time our adventurers met. The Mistlost crew happened upon, or rather, maybe not happened upon, but went to the location of Armagen, Ayaga's, and Nikita's home, formerly a cabin amidst the pines of the wooded area of bordering the Vale of Night and Elysia. Nikita showed you all to the home that she grew up in, which was more or less exactly how she left it a couple of years ago, or a few years ago at this point. I think that was kind of where we left off. Everybody got presents from Aurora. Do we want to do a flashback to Senark getting his present before we get back to Nikita things, or did we want to hand wave that? I wasn't sure, Charmy, if you want to.
I would love it if we're cool with that. It will be quick.
Yeah, okay, so before we get back to what is happening, well, not really what is happening, but before we get back to the scene at the Ayaga cabin, we're gonna rewind, because we've been without Soul for a little bit. Welcome back.
Thank you.
To when the party was still in Okurai, on the day that Aurora divvied out all of her little gifts to the rest of the party. So let me give you some fun. Music. Give you a little something. Oh no, I changed everything. I'm like, where is everything? Let me find it. Here it is. Okay, Senark, where would Aurora find you amidst your day of final shopping and prepping and gearing up for your trip to Elysia?
I think when Aurora finally finds Sin, Sin is standing outside of a clothing store, and I think Aurora might almost pass him by if it wasn't for him being like a tabaxi, because he is wearing like a new cloak that has like a high collar with like extra fur that fits well over his armor and makes him almost look like an investigator. Very detective vibes. And he looks like he's contemplating something and just sort of staring out into the street as he like adjusts these new clothes.
So yeah, I would say to your point that Aurora is barreling her way somewhere else and fully walks directly past Sin and then does a double take and spins around on the spot. Go, oh, there you are! Hi.
Hey! Sorry. I almost didn't see you pass by.
Yeah, I didn't see you in this fancy coat. Spin, let me look at it. And Aurora will appraise your fashion choices before saying, do you have a minute?
Of course.
tugs you into an alley or some kind of quiet area slightly off the street, and holds out a purple wrapped package, small, kind of box shaped. This is for you. I think I really appreciated having somebody from home nearby all the time in our travels, and I don't know what I would have done without you being here. And I know it's hard to be away from home for you, like harder than it is for me. So I thought maybe this would remind you of what's important at home, and you can keep it with all the other necklaces you like to wear.
He laughs, and I think when he takes the package, you see like the purple that you chose is like almost like this, like almost like his dark purple cloak. And like you see, instead of like the array of necklaces, he has only the Edem like golden trinket there, and I think you don't see the other ones, even though he jingles a little bit. And he's like, "Can I open it now?"
Yes.
And
Please.
And unhit it like just sort of like almost tears into it, just like very excitedly.
And inside is a wooden pendant on a leather thong necklace. That is a kind of pentagon shape, wooden, has like a slight kind of star design in the top of it. And he says, it's kind of a puzzle, and when you touch it in a specific way, it will open up, and you can keep things that are important inside. And it's made of 5 different types of wood from the Vale, and I thought, it would help remind you of what's important at home, and you can keep anything important in there. I don't know how to open it. I forgot, but I figured you can figure it out.
I think Sin sort of like, just like casually like makes it go across his fingers, and he looks up at Aurora, and he's just, "Thank you. I love having a piece of home with me too, and you certainly give me peace when we are going around. I can't wait to see you get stronger and tougher, and for you to continue to hold us together."
I hold us together. You're the one who's doing that. I mean,
I can be tough sometimes.
and that's what I like about you. And she's gonna give Sin a big hug and a kiss on the cheek.
Sin hugs her back very like strongly. I think the last time that Sin gave like an Aurora like a big hug, I think it was like before the what's it called? Before the Undercity. And I think she notices like he is visibly stronger now as he like picks her up a little bit and sets her back down.
You get delighted laughter in your ear.
All right. Well, are you ready for the journey?
Yeah, just about.
Fantastic.
I'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning.
Is there anything else that Sinark needs to? And I think Revelation also missed a session recently. My mind's no. Is there anything else Sinark wanted to take care of in Okurai before we fast forward back to the present?
No, everything that he wants to do, just like in his head, will take too long before the journey has to start again. So he's just like, it will have to wait until I come back.
Okay. Then with that, with your new present in hand, we're gonna fast forward once again back to Elysia. So, I think it was actually this. I don't remember if this is what we had, but we'll just go with it. Nikita, you are, I believe when we last left off, you were sitting in Armageddon's room.
Yes.
And you had found, I think you had found books. Is that right? That were still in his room? Yes. Children's books that were basically for teaching children how to do their alphabet and basic words and how to read in Elvish. And they're kind of old and faded, but you remember them from your time growing up when Armageddon spent quite a lot of his time teaching you how to people, basically. Taught you how to speak, even though you were about 10 years old when he found you. Taught you how to communicate and eat, not like a feral animal. But it just kind of sparks memories of your early days with him and the resistance that you felt to acting like a person. It was a struggle, but you both got through it together.
I think I mentioned that Nikita would have grabbed a kid's book, a children's book, like a story. Not the alphabet ones, but like a children's story. And pocketed that for sure.
Okay.
And actually, I think when we left off, if I remember correctly, you had said something for Smar. That he like ran off, and is he still with me, or
he didn't run off. He was like climbing in the trees around the.
Okay.
This is the area where this is actually, I think, pretty close to the area where you found Smar, and I think he was just climbing the trees and doing little squirrel things because he's home essentially. This is home for him. I mean, home is with you, but he spent time with you here before you left, so yeah, he's around. You can find him easily if you want him.
I think she called to him. Just quick little clicks.
You'll see a blur as he flies out of one of the trees directly to you, practically like smacks you in the face, but he manages to like scramble up into your hair instead. He's squeaking at you happily.
Perfect. Okay, so he's with me. I think, and Aurora was inside the house too, but at the entryway, or did you go inside?
Yes, I hung out at the entryway, basically waiting for the signal that you needed support.
I think Nikita again just is gonna stand up from where she was, just walk out of his room, and again take in everything, and just even hearing like her massive footsteps in this house in comparison to how everything sounded before. She's gonna make her way back to the front, and she's gonna look for Aurora.
Steps right inside to your side and holds her hand out for you, but like waits to see if physical comfort is what you want or just her presence.
I think at seeing her hand outstretched for her, she's just gonna pull her in for a hug. But it's very much like she's could be borderline smothering Aurora. But she needs the support for sure here. And she's not crying, but she's just, you get to tell that her sinuses are kind of getting to that point. She's getting emotional. I don't, she's gonna pull away. I don't think they're going to fit all in here. So, but I would like to spruce it up a little bit before we go. Maybe not fix the damages, but just clean it quickly.
Sure. Would you like help?
That would be great. I should invite everyone in, but it's a little cramped.
Do you want to? You don't have to. Just if you want to. We can take turns. It doesn't have to be all at once.
No, I think I want to. Yeah, I'm not alone anymore, and I mean, I haven't been since Armagon, really, so yeah, I think you would want them to come inside too.
You want me to get them?
No, I got this. And she's just gonna walk out and motion everyone. It's kind of dusty and small, but you're more than welcome to come inside. There's some chairs and shit. There's a floor. If you want, I guess. Shit, this is coming up pretty bad.
Guys, come check out Nikita's house! Or we'll shout from inside.
I think Sin is making a snowball and has been sort of eyeing the back of Kazuhiko as a thing.
God. Okay.
And I think he's halfway to throwing, and Nikita then Nikita comes out and shouts, and it's just like
Just following.
and starts walking towards the house.
I was cleaning the tombstone,
Yes.
which I think I have successfully cleaned. The only thing I want to say is I put some I burned some incense probably around there, which I don't know how it'll fare too well in the winter, or well with all this snow, but it's that you figures the gesture is probably more than enough for now.
It's not
at the
too
very
windy
least.
right now. It should burn well.
Yeah.
So you had set about cleaning the grave site, lit some incense. Is there anything else you want to do while you are taking care of this grave?
Are there any spirits at all? I was specifically requested to keep an eye out for him, but I don't know if he'll show up. But yeah.
So you look around, and you don't have to roll for this or anything. You look around, and there really aren't. You see little wisps of animals. You don't see any people here. So I don't know, like a rodent of some kind, or a bird, something that little wisps of things that don't really have shape, but they must have been animals at some point. Even if they're not formed or strong enough to be formed, sometimes residual energies simply remain, even if they don't have forms like people that you see do. But you don't see any people around here, and certainly nobody that matches the description of Armageddon. You think if he hadn't passed on or passed through to the afterlife, that he would be here. So not seeing him here is a good sign. Not seeing him here is good.
Yeah. Excuse me, I figured.
Yeah, it's not a good time for the spirits that you do see in this world.
Yeah. I've seen enough to. That's why I help them go faster. But yeah, Dayu will. When she's finished, she'll come inside, if there's space.
You all squeeze into this tiny cabin. It's a little tight in here. For all 6 of you, plus animals. Not that the animals are big, they're not, but still. So you all kind of pile in. Kazuhiko is kind of staying near the door because he's realizing how crowded it is in here, and is just kind of looking around. Nice place you have here. Was this your
father's? Yes. It's where I grew up.
See.
Sort of. Yes.
Ah. Interesting. This is a beautiful area. He says, kind of looking out the window. It's been nice growing up here.
Yes. Snow is very fluffy. And the right times, of course.
You hear Smar squeaking in agreement somewhere in your hair.
It was a nice time with him. In retrospect, I gave him a lot of shit, but, you know. I was a kid. He had a lot of patience. But if you guys want to help me, it would make it faster. I know some of you have magic that could really help that, but I would like to handle his room myself, if that's okay. My room, you can do whatever you want. I have no secrets. You're just going to find.
I'm going.
Random shit, maybe a twig or a leaf I found at school. It's probably dead now. By dead, I mean dust. You might find a twig.
Got it.
And hair.
You've killed the leaf. Understandable.
Years. I don't know where I used to pile things under my bed sometimes. I'm telling you, I used to be a problem. Not
Wait,
my
I
things.
pile things under my bed all the time. Does that make me a problem?
No, not at all. But when you do it intentionally as a collector, it's one thing. But I just kind of found random dirty shit, and then he would be like, "Why are you bringing dirty things in here?" And then I hid it under my bed.
The dirty shit.
Yes, he wasn't not much of a clean freak either. It was more like I'm bringing in dirt at this point. And he had enough with the boots at this point, so.
I see that you might need some work on the roof.
Yes, I don't know if we could do that today, but I mean, as long as it's clean on the inside, I feel like it just needs a little bit of love.
I like to say, I've thatched roofs before. I can't probably fix it, but I can keep the snow from killing you.
Giant Slayer, roof thatcher. What else?
I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I am a great fighter, kisser. I almost got Kazuhiko in the back of the head with a snowball if it weren't for outside sources.
Me catching you red-handed again. Probably.
Kazuhiko is just like, yeah, I'd like to see you try.
Oh, don't tempt me.
I think
what'll learn if you do?
I think the kid is gonna take in the moment of just seeing the laughter and the life again in the house, and she's gonna get a little emotional, probably. But I think at that she will probably turn around and just say, I'm going to start in this room. And Mandy,
Yeah.
I'm going to look through drawers and stuff and just see if I can find anything important.
So you're gonna look through.
Maybe.
You're gonna look through his things.
Yeah,
which
like his
which
things,
I
his
imagine
desk.
you left alone after he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. You dig through I believe I said there was an armoire in the room.
Armoire.
You kind of look around in there. It's clothing. Not a lot of different kinds of clothing, but like warm clothing, stuff for layering, simple, masculine, nothing too fancy, except kind of way to one side, because there are things hanging in there. You see an old, it is no longer current. It's similar to the uniform of the Veil Guard you know today, dress uniform, but it is slightly different because you imagine it's, a couple decades old. So you do find the formal wear that generally any retired Veil Guard get to keep. There is a small box in the bottom of the main compartment of the armoire, and there are drawers. There's a couple of drawers underneath the main compartment where things are hanging. That seems to just have clothing, but there is this little box.
I think she'd check out the box.
Yeah. You open up the box. It's longer than a shoebox, I'd say, but roughly similar dimensions. You open it up and you find some papers inside. You find actually, let me DM you really quick. Okay, that's we're on the same page here. Okay, great. You flip through some papers. You find notes. You find it's mundane things. It's not like a journal or anything. He wasn't really the type to keep a journal. But what you do find is little drawings from a young Nikita. In charcoal or paint. You find a crumpled page that has your little handprints on it from when you were a kid. Little things like that, little trinkets or little things that you made for him when you were a child. He kept all of it. There's some other things that look like, like receipts and other like garbage kind of paper that people just kind of throw into a box thinking they're gonna need it and then they don't. So very lived in, very much like that. And as you get to the bottom of this box, a shiny metal catches your eye, gold. And it is a familiar, delicate but beat up golden bracelet with a plate on it. A little name plate on it that says Nikita. And you remember that you were wearing that when he found you.
At this point, she's just gonna break. I would say, looking at the box, you said it was at the bottom of the armoire, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the bottom of the main compartment of the armoire. Mm-hmm.
Got it. She's totally gonna break at that point. She's fully sobbing. You still had these fucking things all this time. She's going to grab the bracelet and she's going to just kind of rub her thumb over the plate and just let the memories again of when he found her, everything just rushing back so much clearer. She is fully sobbing now. And probably audibly from another room. But it's pretty bad. She's probably going to take her mask off at this point.
Aww.
And she's going to put the box back safely. And probably grab a shirt of his, like a long sweatshirt that was left there. And just smell it. Probably dusty as shit, but she doesn't care. It's probably still reminiscent. And she's gonna try to remember if someone had a bag of holding, because she's probably gonna want to put that somewhere. She's gonna grab that sweater, I think, and just kind of like fold it up and just carry it for now. But I think she'd emerge out of the room without her mask at this point.
So you've taken your mask off?
Yes.
Okay. Uh-oh, I don't have the unmasked art queued up.
You're totally fine. You're
I just realized I don't have it on here.
You're good. You're good.
We'll reveal that. We'll reveal that next week.
Yeah. And if anyone sees her, Aurora's seen this before.
Literally staring.
Yeah. You've seen a peek of it. But you pretty much see on her, in my head, it's her right side. She has a.
There we go. Got it. Oh god, it's giant. Excuse me.
She has a massive scar that just kind of like goes down. It reaches around to her temple. But it's just a floating Nikita going everywhere.
Sorry, I was trying to make it not giant.
No, you're good. You're good. But along with the rest of the scarring you guys have seen from her body, this is one that you could see was a very big impact. And for those who may have seen her back as well, it looks kind of similar to that texture. But it's really just a scar, y'all. It's just a scar on her face. Like, kind of just goes down all here.
As she steps out, Aurora, who's lingering in the doorway of her room, using a mage hand to sweep things out from underneath the bed, says, "Hey, there's my girl. You keep the mask off at home?"
Yeah, it was kind of getting rough in there, breathing under that, or my eyes were really wet and it was just getting very uncomfortable. This is a weird moment. A lot is going on.
Well, I'm glad to see you.
She'll pull her close and kiss her forehead.
I cleaned your bed for you, but that's all I got to, because I'm not so good at cleaning.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm happy you even tried to do that. It's very sweet.
Anything for you.
I think I should just tell you guys. First of all, the mask. When you start working with a lot of people, then they see a scar on your face, you have a lot of assholes asking you about shit. And it started getting annoying because I remember why now little bit clearer as to why it's there, but I don't remember a lot. Before, when I was a kid. But not before Armaga necessarily, but before, the wildlife took care of me. Even then, that's a little bit blurry. But asking or answering, I don't know, or remembering that they couldn't remember, it's got to be a lot. So I just put on the mask, because I could just answer because I liked it. That's why I have it on. Which is a lot easier than remembering that I cannot fucking remember shit. So... And I do actually like the mask too. It's nice. You guys aren't saying anything, it's freaking me out. Should I put it back on? Is it like a situation where it's freaking you out?
You better not.
Okay.
I mean, put it on if you want to. You said
I
you
do enjoy
like
it. I do. But I mean, we're kind of more than just a traveling party for a, mission or something, so... And we get pretty personal, to say the least.
Tim is on the roof and missing all of this.
You can look through the hole!
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like Kazu's probably helping you with the roof stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Boys on the roof.
Since there's boys are on the roof, missing all the emotional moments. Obviously, also because there's not a ton of room in here to work, so it's better for some people to work on outside things and others to work on inside things. Yeah.
So, at the sound of hammers? I guess? What are you doing exactly?
They're probably re-thatching it, so that's like hand weaving, mostly.
Gotcha.
Tying things
Okay.
on together, yeah.
I'll just leave it off for now. I mean, for the principal.
Adam, you should be airing out your face.
I mean, I do. It's not like I keep it on all the time like that either. I sleep, and I sometimes sleep with it on, but then, I move it sometimes when you guys aren't looking.
Well, yeah, I mean, the air is fresher here.
It's a lot more freeing, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I have to hide too much from you guys, necessarily.
You hear Maylin off to the side, like, wow, I thought Nikita was hot before, but she's, like, definitely really pretty.
Maylin thinks you're hot.
Thank you, Maylin.
You are
She'll
so
look in the
welcome.
She says that you are so welcome.
I knew there's a reason I liked her.
Yeah. So, just a little thing out there. That's not you. When you were showing your scars a lot in Southmore, I kind of got a little, I don't know if inspired is the word necessarily, but I admired you for it because I was here hiding things that I don't even remember, to be fair. But you were wearing it like it was yours. So.
Well, I am a bard. Kind of the inspiring part. Hopefully, a part of the job. Is my job. It's real hard to do this fucking voice. With fucking so much phlegm in my throat. Jesus.
Are we getting paid? I mean, we're getting favors, though, so I guess it's payment.
Paid for what?
No, because, like, they don't pay me to do this. Am I getting paid? I was like, wait, are we getting paid? For the whole thing that we're doing.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Favors, we got free stuff.
Yeah, like, they basically offered to fund, like, your adventuring things whenever you come home to resupply. Yeah. And yes, there will be yes, sponsorship, yes. They are yes. There will be payment for this. You're not just being sent, but it is also like, you know, for the good of the world, so so you all unless there's anything else anybody wants to take care of, we're gonna fast forward a little bit.
Real
Rev,
quick.
you haven't talked in a while, yeah?
Yeah, I think that while Nikita was in her dad's room and folks were cleaning and thatching, can I just do a quick detect magic and walk the sort of perimeter of the house and then also the outside?
Yeah, you do a detect magic. There is nothing local here. Totally mundane.
Dang, just hiding porn, nothing secret and fun. Okay.
Armageddon was a simple man.
I have one thing to tell Nikita.
Hey, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, you know what I'm saying?
But sometimes it's a magic cigar and you gotta check for these things.
That's true, you do gotta check for this thing, you never know. Sometimes I do reward you for those random magic checks, so... but this time around, no, it's all very mundane here. Dayu, you had something?
Yeah. Just because we are here and like when there's like a bit of a lull in the conversation, Dayu will kind of like pull on Nikita's. Hello? Are you wearing a cloak?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll just pull on it to get your attention. And then say, the tombstone is clean, but I don't see him anywhere. So I think that means he's moved on, which is a really good thing. The longer spirit stays without any meaning or things to tie them here, the sadder it gets.
Thank you, Dayu.
Was this the wrong time to say that?
No,
I just didn't want to be like on the road and be like, by the way, your dad's certainly dead, you know?
No, that's good because I mean I did everything he asked me to, right? So I was just hoping there wasn't anything that he didn't tell me about because I was a child or something that was lingering for him.
If it helps, that means emotionally. He trusts you enough to be on your own.
She's gonna give her a nice little head pat. Thank you. Really.
Okay, if there's anything else you need, you just ask me, okay? I brought jars of soup.
Soup sounds nice.
Soup can be so good. You guys don't understand. That keeps doing this because she's like, it feels like it's big brained. To bring soup, jars of soup broth.
I think it'd be best if we camped right outside the house in front. So, feel free to use the kitchen, but I don't really know how much it's, how functional it is right now.
Do you want to camp, or do you want like, I could put the cabin facing this way. You know, I mean, I can't leave my hut, but you guys could and be like a fun extension.
Let's figure that out when Sin and Kazu get back down,
I'm surprised they haven't fallen yet.
Sinark falling?
It's happened.
Kazu
You can
falling?
fall, and it's happened.
I believe that.
You can fall and land on your feet.
And I guess she's just gonna wait there. She'll still keep the mask off for the whole day. But yeah.
Okay.
And Aurora will spend a portion of that day helping Nikita come up with lies to tell people instead of answering invasive questions. So just like absolutely stupid shit to say when you don't want to actually answer.
That's amazing. She's gonna love that. She's gonna mentally take notes, and you're gonna see she's taking it really seriously. Like, this is important. I'm gonna do this.
Excellent. So you spend the day cleaning, bonding, reminiscing, and remembering. And the day wears on. The boys fix the roof. You're able to really clean up the place after a few hours. It doesn't take long because it's not a big space. But you're able to, get the dust out, get some air in, get the hearth working again, clean out the chimney, and all of that. And it's looking a lot more like it did when you left it than it did when you arrived here. It looks more lived in. You fix or board up whatever windows may have taken any damage. I think there was only one, if I'm remembering right. And get everything straightened up, and night falls. Do you all stay in the cabin? Are you using the hut? What's the plan? Because there's not a lot of sleeping space in the cabin. So it's up to you how you want to handle that.
Sin offers to sleep in the hut if people want to sleep in the cabin.
If the hut's up, Dayu has to stay in the hut, so she will be sleeping there.
Mm-hmm.
Are Nikita and Aurora gonna have a sleepover in Nikita's childhood bed?
Oh no,
No.
it's too small.
Can you fit?
I was gonna say
No,
Too small.
that was like
not the right size. Would be blankets on the
That is
floor.
a one-person
presumably.
bed. Yeah.
Even then, is that even a Nikita-sized bed anymore?
Yeah, you're probably you were probably around 18 when you left.
Yeah,
and you're
around
24
there.
now, so you could have gotten
Yeah.
a little taller in that time, sure.
Not even
It'll
taller.
fit
Woman
her.
is you're fucking built like a fridge. Like, come on. Let's
It'll
be real.
fit her, but like, let's be real. It's probably also not the most
Comfortable.
luxurious and comfortable
No,
bed.
it's very basic.
Yeah. It's like if a twin could be even more uncomfortable for one person.
Mhm. Yep. So you all stay in the hut, tiny hut.
I'd be good with that.
Okay. You all settle in for the evening. You probably had dinner in the cabin just to not be in the hut, before going to bed. Have a nice meal. The hut is nice and warm because you have the fire going. You let that go for the night, just so it feels nice to be home. This feels like home to you. And Dayu summons up the hut. You all settle in for the night. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some things before you all hit that lovely long rest button.
Oh.
So, let's see. Nikita, of course, we're at a very Nikita time right now. But don't worry, there's something for others as well.
It can just be for Nikita, that's fine.
Yeah, you could say that, but now I'm gonna pick on you next. Nikita, as you finally drift off to sleep, sometime in the middle of the night, you wake up. And you feel a familiar presence. And you hear the crunching of paws in the snow outside of the hut. Nobody else is awake at this point in time. What do you do?
I think I think she would sit up slowly as to not disturb anyone. And she would try to leave the hut to follow the sound.
Yeah. You step outside and you realize that it is snowing. And standing in the middle of the clearing on the other side of the hut is a direwolf. A slightly more slender female with black fur and silver eyes. And you know that this is Moon, the mate of Night, the scarred black wolf who saved you after the landslide. She sees you, and she stands and waits.
I think she'd try to shake the shock off of her real quick.
Yep.
But she'd stand up straight and then lower her head. I don't know how to speak to you.
She kind of tilts her head and sits down as you say that. And you hear a voice in your head. Have you forgotten already? Has it been that long?
It's been very long. She'll say that out loud, but she'll try again saying that in her head in response.
Her ears perk when you do that. She hears you.
She'll walk a bit closer.
You can
You're
see...
still...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
I was gonna say, you can see that she looks mostly the same as the last time you saw her, 14 years ago. Direwolves live a long time, and you can see, though, that there's gray on her snout. She's getting older. But it's Moon. You just instinctively know her name.
Age has barely touched you. Thank you for everything. I don't think I understood enough what was going on to be able to say that before we parted.
She'll nudge your leg with her head. No need for human formalities. But it is good to see you. The others told me to not wait for you, but I knew you would come back here. It is good to see that you are still strong.
definitely stronger than before. I'm really good now. Are you alone here?
She kind of turns her head and she looks to the left, and you can see out in the trees another wolf, another dire wolf. This one younger, another black wolf. This one is a male, not quite as big as Moon. And he has one yellow eye and one silver eye. And he reminds you of Night, who has yellow eyes.
Do I recognize this particular one? Or is he completely new to me?
The last time you saw this wolf, he was still kind of a puppy.
Gotcha.
This is Storm. Storm is the pup of Moon and Night.
Holy shit, you're big.
You can hear his voice even from a distance in your head. It's lower and more gravelly and not childlike at all. Somebody has to watch her back. It is good to see you, big sister.
So happy to see you guys.
He will eventually approach, but you can tell he's looking at the hut. Not the cabin. He's looking at the hut with trepidation. They do not trust outsiders, and you know this.
They're safe. They're my family.
Storm kind of tilts his head at you. But we are your pack.
You always will be. I know you're... Why were you waiting for me?
Moon looks at you now, after she watches Storm approach. I wanted to see you, now that you are older. I needed to know that the choice we made was the right one. It looks like Night was correct. You didn't lose your way that day. We left you. We left you here.
I thought I lost you. It didn't make sense. I guess you wanted me. You left me. It was for the better. I mean, my life is better. I think. This is a hard feeling. I would have been with you guys and happy as well. You didn't... Did you need to?
I needed to know that you were safe. And though you will always be part of the pack, you are not a wolf.
I know. I tried my best.
I have been alive for a long time, Nikita. And even I know that you belonged with people like yourself.
I know, I understand.
For what it's worth, Knight wanted to keep you with us. It was my idea.
Again, thank you. Is there anything I could do for you in the pack now?
If you see other dire wolves, talk to them first. Don't fight them. There are less and less of us these days. And you know she means the kind of dire wolves that they are. There are wolves, there are dire wolves, and then there's this pack. Not all dire wolves can speak.
Mm-hmm. But try. I can do that. That's... Of course. My new pack, they tend to care about finding alternative ways. Also, I'm pretty sure if I relayed that message, or at least told them it was important to me, they would honor it as well.
Also, your brother would like to come with you.
Huh? Oh. Sure. I mean, we're going somewhere really dangerous, but I mean, we're going to the mountain.
Storm's ears flatten. Why would you want to go there?
It's complicated. We need to fix a connection that may be broken. Otherwise, things could get really bad for the land. It will be very dangerous. You're welcome to come, but I was just told to try to keep as many of you safe, and I don't know if that matches. But I know that my new family will be more than happy to also have you.
The two wolves look at each other, and you don't quite pick up on whatever it is they're conveying to one another, especially because you've not been amongst them in many years. Words used to not be needed before. Everything was about intent and communication in the way that wolves typically do. Storm kind of gets up. I do not wish to go to the mountain, and you should not either. And Moon says, I suppose it's decided then. We came to see you, and we did. If you make it back, you'll know how to find us.
I will. I intend to come back. And she's going to kind of approach Moon, and kind of like, I guess, ask to get close and just kind of like, I'm not sure if I would want her to press her head against her head also, or just kind of go for a full hug.
Mm-hmm.
But if she allows her to get close, then I think she'd hug her.
Oh yeah, she lets you get close. You wrap your arms around her, and breathe in the smell of wet fur
Mhm.
and the familiar smell of Moon, who picked you up and carried you all those years ago so that you wouldn't have to walk. She'll kind of nuzzle you. Dart was around here, but she got impatient and I think she went back. But next time you come back, I will see if the rest of the pack wants to say hello.
I will be back.
You hear a howl in the distance. It sounds like Dart.
Tell them I say hi.
We will. They will get up. Each of them will nudge you a little bit. Storm especially, because he wants pats.
Mm-hmm. She'll pet him.
And Moon will walk away without another word. But Storm kind of lingers. And he says, I hope you come back.
Me too.
And they'll leave.
I think Mikia's gonna realize how fucking cold it is right now, and she's gonna run back under the hut.
Yeah.
Back to the cuddle puddle.
Right to the cuddle puddle. Right where she belongs.
Suddenly smelling more like dog.
Yes, you do smell like dog now. You smell like wet fur and just general dog smell.
She'll revel in the nostalgic feeling.
Yeah, you used to smell like that.
Mm-hmm.
Revelation. You dream. And you have flashes. The memories of your birth, so to speak, rush across your memory. The crash of a comet. An infant laying at the bottom of the crater. The formless visage of a man who you know is Furos. You imagine standing on the summit of a mountain as the stars sing to you the way they used to. As you pluck one from the sky and make it your own. And then you are standing probably on the side of a mountain. It is howling wind and blustering snow pelting your face, sticking to your clothes, sticking to your face. It is unpleasant. It feels real. And you are looking up at the night sky. Different colors shifting amidst the clouds in the night. And you feel a presence beside you, but you see no one. What do you do?
Does it feel like Furos has felt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
I think that she just stands resolute, waits for him to make the first move. I don't want to say the wrong thing at this point.
You know, I gave you wings for a reason. This voice is not Firos.
Sort of against her better judgment, Rev will turn towards where the voice is coming from.
You see a shadow. It looks vaguely like a person. It too has wings. And the shadow seems to be shedding some kind of strange black motes of energy, almost like dust kind of falling off of this form, but it is pitch black, staining the snow. It's not an illusion. It's blackening all the snow around where he is standing. They are standing. The voice is masculine, to be sure, but there are no features. It's just 2D image. Flat.
I may have wings, but my companions do not, and for now I need them with me.
I could care less about your companions. In fact, keep them. They may be a useful tool for you later. You are getting closer to your goal. And I need you to decide who you plan to serve. You feel another presence kind of beating at the back door of your mind. It feels like Firos, and he is furious. You see, as much as these earthly deities like to think that they can play my game, you belong to me. You are of my blood, not his. I do not have time for petulant children who like to lie. For I am far older than your mysterious secret god.
Rev sort of looks deep into the shadow, and I assume that there's no way to make out any sort of expression or face, but does this match up with anything I've heard of, anyone that I know of?
It does. Sorry, I didn't realize the other song was so short and the loop was weird. This is a little more appropriate anyway. This feels like whatever force was present when you arrived here Notice I didn't say you were born. You arrived here. When you were created and dropped on this planet. Furos did not do that. This thing did. You feel a connection to this being. And you see that the wings sprouting from his back turn into tendrils. Like tentacles, almost. They root into the snow, staining everything and draining the color from anything that might have color up here. And you see it is becoming more solid, less like an image and more like a being. And you see little pinpricks of light peeking through the shadow that look like stars.
You don't have time for petulant land gods or liars. Will you have time for me?
I always make time for my children. Assuming you want to finish what you started and be what you are instead of this.
Sort of shakes her head incredulously. Of course, that's what I want. That's all that I want. But if you want me to grasp that, why have you let him lead me?
I wanted to see if you could find your own way. It seems I was wrong. That imbecile who calls herself your mother grovels far too much at the feet of gods. You were made for something greater.
If not groveling, what is it that you ask of me?
I want you to pluck a star from the sky. A very particular star. And when you do, you will be able to hear the song again, the way you are supposed to. The way I intended. You will remember in time. You will remember on the summit. And you will not do as he asks you to. Because you were made for more than this. I made you for more than this.
He's been leading me here, building me up to this as long as I can remember. Why?
He is going to try to take it from you. Do not let him. You will remember. And then he says another word. Like he is trying to tell you something, and all you hear is static. and more static. And as it turns toward you, reaching out a hand to you in a strangely uncharacteristic act of camaraderie, you can no longer hear a single word he says. All you hear is static. And then you wake up. Cold sweat. And you realize you are lying on the floor in the cabin. This is not where you went to bed. Embers in the hearth, dying out. Ever so slowly, you look out the window. Based on the position of the moon and the stars above, it's the middle of the night. You maybe slept for 4 or 5 hours before waking up here. But this is not where you went to bed.
I think that she can feel that static that she's been feeling, hearing more and more recently, knows what it signifies and doesn't quite want to go back to sleep. And so she climbs out onto the roof of the house, newly patched, and will just spend the rest of the night watching the stars.
And I think this is a good point to take a little break. Does that sound good for everybody? Take a little break. Alrighty, we are going to take a little 10-minute break, and we'll be back here shortly. Be right back, everybody. Bye. Hello, we're back. Hello, hello. Sorry for the delay. That was my fault. Yeah, so after a very interesting evening for a couple of you, you do get a long rest, and you awake in the morning, some more refreshed than others. And it is your second day in Elysia.
And Aurora will take this opportunity to ask a real question, which is, how long does it take to get to this mountain place?
I'm so glad you asked.
Right, because now that we've done Nikita stuff, Aurora's getting bored.
I'll pull up the map.
Snow
here.
is not as fun as she thought it would be, because it melts.
Yes. So from where you are at, I guess I'll switch us to a map view. Let me get the actual map here. I'll swap. We're still looking at Okurai.
Wait. Okay, it was like new map? Or is
No,
this going to be
it's the same.
our usual
it's the
map?
same. It's the same maps. Here I'll zoom in a bit
Regional
so you can
map.
see. Yes, regional map. So, in terms of where you are roughly, I guess I can't really draw on this screen. That's the downside of not having a VTT. You are very close to the border of the Veil of Night, which is... What the fuck is this? Oh, that's the Hellhound. We can hide that. That can go. That's from before. Yeah. You are near the border of the Veil of Night, which is this dark splotch in the middle of the map right here. You're probably, you're just kind of on the other side of this little mountain range, kind of near the base of it. That's why the weather here isn't too bad. You're blocked on one side by mountains. And then the rest is like forest and trees and some hills and such. To get to Wintergate, which is at the base of Mount Ceres, it will probably take, depending on the weather, good 4 or 5 days. Given traveling quickly in this kind of environment is not easy, might take longer depending on if it snows or not. Might depend on if you get lost or not, or stuck or not. It really depends. Though the mountain is quite large, it's a pretty easy landmark from the position that you are at, given that you were in like the lowland area of Elysia. So, yeah, you're, almost not quite a week away from Wintergate, which is near the base of the mountain, and the mountain itself, you don't know how long that'll take. Because it's huge. Like, it's giant even from where you are, and you're days away. It is indeed the largest mountain on the planet. Yep. So
Aurora's definitely complaining about walking around in the snow.
Dates-wise, Mandy, how long do we have to get to the top of the mountain?
That's a great question. Let me check the calendar, because I don't remember.
One.
Calendar. You have a day. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
No, I'm totally kidding. It is... Oh wow, you missed a Mordia feast day. Wait, what month are you in? You're in, let's see. It is probably... Oh, I have to edit the day. Excuse me. That is... Let's see, the next month is... Oh no, it's a Neurofen now. You are in... God, I haven't been keeping track of the days at all. It is... For the rest of the world, closer to springtime. You are at the end of Makiden, I believe. I will have to double check what the last date was I told y'all. Because it's been a while since then. You know, it's been a couple of weeks since then. So it's probably either the end of Makiden or the beginning of Onirifen, which is the month prior to Genjin, which is... you know that the meteor shower happens on the 14th of Genjin. So you have a little over a month.
Cool.
To get to the summit of this mountain. And based on the environment, you think you might need every single day of that.
Great, cool.
Yeah. You guys are going to be here a while. You're probably going to be here for a few weeks. It's going to take that long between travel times and having to camp and all of those things. Yep. Aurora is so sad. That is that's kind of where we're at in terms of that. So you are maybe half a week, maybe almost a week away from Wintergate. If you choose to stop at Wintergate to supply up and get information about how to go about climbing the mountain, you know, that might take you a couple of days in the city. So, depends. So you probably all have this discussion while you're looking at the map, which you've had kind of added to and annotated.
So I guess a question that I have, maybe it's above table, but just for us, is do we plan on going to Wintergate? Like, do we feel like it's... I guess, is Rem gonna stop us from stopping at Wintergate?
I mean, it has the plague, so we might not want to stop there long.
I don't think anybody said that it had the plague, but if that's how you want to treat it, you can treat it that way. You don't have to stop it. You don't have to stop at Wintergate. That saves me from flushing out a whole ass city, and that place is huge, so, you know.
I mean, I want to get to the mountain, so...
Well, it is literally the gate
at the
to
base.
The mountain, so you either need to walk around Wintergate or through Wintergate to get to the main trails. But you also don't have very much information about the mountain itself. So you could go up there blindly, that's fine. You could do that. You can wing it.
I read a book about the flora.
You did.
That's all we need, right?
Sure.
No.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy, that's fine.
Yeah.
Mate, do this however you want. This is your adventure.
Dai will speak up then, and she'll say, then we should see what our supplies look like when we get there. Because it's not gonna matter if we end up having nothing to go up the mountain with.
I agree.
It'd be nice to get some extra things, so...
It would be a real shame to go past the city without stopping in it and maybe having a bath.
Sin smirks when that... Sin's like, yep.
There are, did you say something about, you said baths?
Yes.
You
I
know
was always thinking about when.
You know that there are natural hot springs somewhere on the mountain. Probably near the base.
Suddenly more interested in this mountain.
I mean, probably there's one right at the top, too. So we just gotta get up there.
Yeah, there are definitely natural hot springs in this region of the world.
Is it better than the one at the bottom?
You don't know.
That's a personal preference.
We could go to the city and find out.
Yeah.
Sin is very like, I would want at least one night of warmth inside of a place before we continue up the mountain, as well as potentially more discussion when we actually see what the mountain looks like from up close.
We have to go through the mountain anyways for the faster travel. I mean, not through the mountain. Through the city to get to the mountains. We might as well.
Gives us more information. And comfort. I know we want our baths and indoors.
Who knows, maybe we can find a guide up there.
It worked out the last time we found one.
Kazu's like, oh, right, that's me.
That is you.
Yes. Well, I will
Duh.
be the first to admit that mountains are not typically my forte, so I wouldn't say no to another guide. I mean, I can
Or a
help,
map.
but my specialty is Southmore.
Well, talking about getting there doesn't actually get us there.
You guys are probably like walking and talking, I would imagine, unless you are staying at the
I
cabin.
assumed we were fucking in the hut. Yeah, my bad.
We were what?
Do you want
Yeah,
to
I
be,
was
do you
just
want
more
to be
vibe
walking?
checking.
Do you want to be walking and talking, or are you hanging out at the cabin today?
I would want to be walking and talking.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
can
think
be
walking and
talking.
talking is okay,
Yeah.
but Nikita said her goodbyes to the cabin.
Yeah, you locked up, made sure things were clean, made sure all the cinders were out, all of those things. Everything safely locked up nice. Close the shutters on the house, protect the windows, all that. And now you know the pack is somewhere nearby, probably protecting this place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, does Nikita say anything about her visit?
I mean,
Alyssa says, leaning closer. Did you say anything about your visit? Oh my god.
if y'all smell it on me, but
Yeah, you do smell like wet dog now.
Oh, that didn't last after Aurora woke up because prestidigitation can change smells.
She smelled
So,
wet dog and
definitely
immediately
there was-
prestidigitated you.
Sin
Yeah,
was
I'm
upset.
sorry.
Sin got startled when it happened and was like, "What the fuck is that smell?"
Same, Dayu, same.
yeah. Nikita will tell you guys. I think she'd mentioned that she had a visit from her
Oh.
family.
And they're very big dogs, huh?
Yes, and I told them that you were trustworthy and that's your family, so they'll be kind. I think you'll be safe soon.
Yeah. Thanks.
So should I keep the hut open now for wolves? They kind of need permission to enter. That's why we don't get ambushed necessarily in the night.
Well, we don't want to just, that pack is my family, and I have to make sure that, right. So if we ever encounter more wolves, let me try talking to them first before we try to, fight them in defense, because that was my instruction from the pack mother.
You can communicate with all wolves?
I don't know, but she told me to, so I'm assuming I can figure it out. So, if they're able to do the kind of communication I had with her, then off limits.
I'm fine with not fighting more wolves.
Such a scaredy cat.
I almost got mauled to death in the Undercity, if you recall.
You did. Sorry.
It is okay. I just don't like dogs usually.
Usually.
I'm sure if it is your family, I can get along with them fine.
I promise they mean well. They took care of me.
I believe you. You don't have to, what's it called? I literally forgot the word. You don't have to talk it up to me. I trust you.
Reassurance, support. So, oh, that reminds me. I also, one of them was supposed to travel with us. I told them no because of the mountain, and they don't want to go to the mountain. So, but I don't know what they're willing to do, and in the end, but if we happen to see, we might see my family again. Then who knows? We might see them again. The pack, potentially.
Did they have a reason for not wanting to go up the mountain? Is it someone else's territory or just?
It is notoriously dangerous. Notoriously. Adrogan warned against it. We know it's bad. Actually, genuine question. I think we asked this before, but we talked about giants, and did we talk about a dragon there too? So
I'm trying to remember.
I remember mention of a dragon.
I remember mention of a dragon.
There are, I believe that is I wouldn't say a rumor. That is something you have heard. Yes.
Okay. Giants are also the rumor, or confirmed?
I mean, there are definitely like giants in the mountains. Like there's cloud giants, there's storm giants, things like that. Like way up at higher elevations.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of a given up there. When you're that high up, it is to be expected to see such things. I mean, storm giants live in the sky, so that is just they have like literal castles in the clouds. So those kinds of giants, you know for sure, but I mean, there could be other sorts.
Mm-hmm. Well, on that, giants most likely. There is a rumor of a big dragon that lives on the mountain or near, so that could be bad. So,
Not friendly?
probably not.
Oh.
The last dragon we've encountered was not exactly nice.
The last dragon we encountered was not exactly that sentient, I believe.
Well, in sophomore.
But the dragon
I was
we
gonna
met
say
before that was
the last
pretty
dragon
nice.
you all hung out with was very nice.
Yeah. I was like, that's what I was like, sophomore technically.
I was just like covering
I was like,
Boosie's
Eragon's
ears.
perfect. Oh, I was also thinking about
Listen to
Eragon.
them, buddy.
Yeah, Eragon is
right.
a very nice old dragon.
Mm-hmm.
She's a nice lady.
She's hip. She's cool.
She's with it. So yeah, you've heard tale of a dragon. You've never seen one up on the mountain. You've never heard one roaring in your time in Elysia. You know more than anything, the biggest danger of being on the mountain is the weather. The mountain itself is the biggest danger. It is very treacherous the higher up you go. The snow gets extremely deep, the weather gets extremely bad, and the biting wind and the cold are enough to really kill adventurers more than anything else you could worry about up there. The thing you should fear the most is how goddamn cold it is up there. Yeah, extremely.
So, through Wintergate?
Yeah. Okay. You continue on throughout the day.
Mandy.
Yeah.
I'm spending this whole travel time trying to figure out this pendant that I've had for almost a year in in real lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just completely just trying to like.
Sure. Yeah. What are you doing with it?
I think
my
I'm
God.
trying to like
Sorry.
spin it and like trying to see if like pushing it around with the hourglass inside does anything, and like
Sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Roll me. Roll me. I'll take sleight of hand. You're being delicate with this thing and trying to get it to
Okay.
do something.
Okay, 18 plus 8 is 26.
Yeah. You kind of fiddle with this pendant, and you get it to it's kind of gyroscopic a little bit once you get it going. And you realize that the timepiece in the center does move. And it does tell you the time. You look at the sun in the sky, you look at this thing, it seems to match up. It does tell time. When you spin it up, this is the first time you've done this, in the time that you've had it, you've kind of left it alone. When it's flat, on one side it has an infinity symbol, the symbol of Edem. But when you have it going, that image breaks up into little pieces because it becomes gyroscopic. And its little rings kind of turning in on each other with a small timepiece medallion in the middle. It gives off like a hum. Like a very faint, very low humming sound as you get it to move.
I think he is. I think again, like he's sort of transfixed by the hum.
Yeah.
Like trying to see if it has a tune or if it's like something else. Like almost as if listening for a melody.
You give me a perception check.
Okay. Alright, that is a 24. I think. What's 8 plus 22?
You listen closely to the hum. And at first you think, no, this is just like a droning kind of hum sound. It just seems to be giving off this energy. But you listen closely, and with your cat-like ears, it's easier for you to pick up. Obviously, Dayu and Kazuhiko, hear this as well pretty easily. The three of you definitely pick up on it a little bit easier, but you listen closely to the hum and you start realizing there's a slight rhythm to it. It's not just a droning sound. There are very slight ebbs and flows as it moves. Kind of perpetually until you stop it, of course. If you flatten it again, it'll stop.
Yeah, I think as long as no one stops him for like about the sound and like about it like constantly sort of going, I think again he's just trying to sort of like figure out the ebbs and flows, and maybe he tries to stop it on a particular change in sound and see if that does anything.
You find a note that you like, and you stop the gyroscopic movement of the pendant. And you hear this. Nobody else does. You hear a ringing in your right ear. For just a moment. It's kind of unpleasant. And this pendant feels hot to the touch. Not that it's gonna burn you or anything, but it's very warm.
Mm-hmm.
You're not quite sure if it did anything, but it seems to have reacted to what you did.
Because it was unpleasant, the stopping it, he's gonna put it down for now. Mm-hmm. But it's nice to have it sort of warm against his chest.
Yeah. Yeah, as the warmth, the hard edge of the warmth kind of dulls a little bit in the cold. It actually feels kind of nice.
Yeah.
Every time you messed around with it, Dayu's ears reacted.
And just like...
She's got big bunny ears, you know what I mean? So of course they're just gonna go off on their own. It gets, it's like constantly hovering. Yeah, constantly hovering, like I don't know, like 90 degrees like that. It gets too sharp, like basically slaps her in the face because she has to put it down. Here's something new and it slowly goes back up. It's like...
Is Dayu in front of Sin right now?
Yeah, why not?
Then I think he noticed, he kind of notices the movement and is trying not to be too annoying. But when he gets the ringing in his right ear that Dayu doesn't react to, I think he files that away. Like, why didn't Dayu react to that? Why didn't Kazuhiko react to that? Was I the only one who heard that? And just sort of like ruminating in his mind about it. Can't wait to tell Rev about it to see if she knows anything more intelligent than what he's doing.
So you're talking to Dayu about this, or you're just looking to see if they react at all?
I think he just notices that they didn't react to the ringing in his right ear. And so I think he's just filing that away for now because he doesn't want to stop traveling because moving is warm. To talk about his weird pendant.
Sure.
But he's filing it away.
Yeah. Yeah, you file it away for another day. I have to roll a different... Actually, no, this works. As you find your way back to what looks to be main sort of pathway that leads towards... Excuse me, God, I'm so fucking sleep deprived today. It is moving towards Wintergate. There is a main road. So probably closer towards the latter part of the day, later afternoon. You are on that main thoroughfare, heading on the way. Now, you know that it's the main path because it's raised slightly, but it's all covered in snow, and from a distance it all looked the same. It's not like the pathways here get shoveled or plowed or anything like that because there's no snowplows. That's not really a thing here. Shoveling snow in Elysia, except in certain areas, is kind of a lost cause in a lot of ways. But you do find the main path and you continue on down your merry little way. What I will say, you do notice, as you are on the main road, you see large hoof prints. Look like a large horse. Several of them. Just the hoof prints in the snow. But they're all pretty large, like larger than what you would imagine for a typical horse.
GM, do centaurs exist?
Centaurs?
Yeah.
Centaurs, as far as you know, are a figure of mythology.
That's wild behavior. Okay.
Yep.
How obvious has that you've been reading her fauna book?
Like all the fucking time, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Sin is like, Dayu, are there giant horses in Elysia? Nikita, are there giant horses in Elysia?
Hey, GM, are there giant horses in Elysia?
Yeah, GM.
So,
Ready, madam.
as we all know, in real life, there are large horses, like Clydesdale types. I will take a... See if you
Horse
remember.
check.
Horse check. Horse girl
Roll
check.
for horses.
Roll for horse girl.
Got it.
It's I'll say nature or history.
Really?
Yes, really.
Oh, absolute balls. I'm gonna give myself guidance.
Skittles.
You can give yourself Skittles, that's fine.
Yeah, I'd like to give myself guidance, but I ain't got that shit. Oh, my phone stopped it halfway.
Oh no.
I'll take it. That's a 10.
Okay.
18.
Nice.
18?
Yeah. We bless the Skittles tonight.
Bless. You know that there's a type of horse that's typically referred to as a war horse? They tend to be bigger than standard horses are.
Would war horses be common in Okurai?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, you use like pack type horses that pull things, typically in the Vale. But even then, like, you don't see a lot of horses in Okurai except like when travelers come through, and that is not happening very much in current day.
Nikita didn't ride one from Southmore to Okurai, did she? Not well.
No, you traveled on foot.
Didn't we have horses at some point?
Yes.
You did have horses from Southmore to the Vale of Night, and you were encouraged to leave them.
Right.
Because they wouldn't survive in the snow, not regular horses.
Charles.
Yes, Charles.
Charlie. Charleston. Many names for that horse.
Charleston. Oh my god.
Just curious, because I wasn't sure if it was a war horse or just like a big.
Yes.
Actually,
horses with flaming hooves from the movie Crawl the Warrior King, right? Yeah.
You know what a war horse is? That from Southmore, I feel like there must have been some.
Yeah, they're not like a region specific type of horse. It's just a matter of where they might have the most use.
Yeah, that, and I'm like, I would argue
you've probably seen war horses before, and well, for an 18, I'll give you this. You know that it is common for the Knights of Odohi to ride war horses.
I will take a look at the hoof prints, do like trying to visual it, like trying to fucking measure it a bit. She'd be like, I think that belongs to a war horse.
Yeah, you know Odohi is the battle master, the warrior god. Also the oh my god, I'm blanking. Sorry.
It's okay. We got like 5 favorite gods. You have to know so much about them.
Yes. He is the father of Irsil, the Gloom Maiden.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The two of them are known as the warlords of the gods.
Dayu will explain a little bit because Sin looks confused. They're basically just much bigger horses. They're bred for war.
Yep.
Horses are already very large, I feel.
Yeah, but like these horses kind of walk on their fists and stuff. They don't scare easy.
They have fists?
No. Figure of speech.
Oh!
When you crack a joke, it's funny. When I crack a joke, it's concerning.
No,
It's the voice.
I would have believed you.
Jennifer says.
Completely honestly, I would have believed you that they had fists.
No. They're just think even bigger horses. They're like if you were a horse, you're small. If Nikita's a horse, that's huge. So Nikita
So
horse.
like larger than an
Nikita
elk.
horse. Sorry.
Larger than an elk.
I don't know if larger that way, but larger like muscle way.
Okay.
The idea is it can carry and withstand what you see in front of you.
And wear armor.
Fashionable for a horse.
Knights of the Battle Master usually ride them.
You hear jingling as as Sin like looks through opens up his cloak a little bit, looks through like an inner pocket, and then just puts his pocket back down. Good to know. Are these fresh?
Give me your survival check.
Aha!
Yeah.
This isn't gonna go well.
You examine the tracks to see how new they are.
This is not gonna go well.
14 for Dayu.
Yeah, I'll roll for Kazuki.
6!
You fucking better roll for Kazu. That's our man. That's our survival guy.
Yeah, he got a 17.
Thank you.
He notices that you're trying to look and you look confused, Sin, and Kazu will kind of step up next to you and he'll point down at the tracks and he'll say, okay, do you see right here where it's partially covered in new snow? These are between that and you can see how at the bottom of the hoof print some of the snow has frozen back over from the slush. These are probably a couple of days old. And he'll like point out like the different things that kind of make it clear that they're, more than a day old.
Yeah, Sin is
snow last night, it's melted and refrozen, it's this level of depth, it's all these things.
Sin looks rapt with attention, like, oh, and like actually is really excited to learn this little bit.
Yeah. But he'll show you all, like, what anybody who's interested, he will, like, kind of explain how those things look. Yeah, they were probably here on, if it is the Knights of Otohi, they're probably going somewhere, probably to the city, on official business. And he will point out to you that there are 3 sets of hoof prints. So you can see where some of them overlap a little bit.
I like to think that before Kazuhiko tells them that there's 3, Sin guesses that there's 5.
I love that. Absolutely. Awesome. So you continue on. War horses. Okay. You continue onwards, and you kind of find a place at the end of the day to kind of camp here. Trying to find. I thought I had snow things. Do I not have snow things? we go. I was gonna say, I got all kinds of, like, winter music for you guys. So, you find a place to camp for the night. I assume you're using the hut.
Yeah, always.
Where do you choose to camp? Are you gonna camp by the road, or are you gonna go into the woods a bit? What's your plan?
Other than the hoof prints, have we seen anyone else on the road?
Nope, nobody. So I will say, actually, probably at this point, if we zoom in a little bit here, you're kind of in this middle area. So there are some trees still on the sides of the main road. You can see off to your to the east from you. I believe that river is the continuation of the Allure River. Nope, I'm wrong. Allure is in Southmore, excuse me. It is the Bright River East branch that feeds from the Vale of Night up to the lake near Wintergate. So you can see that in the distance. But to your west is where there are trees. Everything else is pretty open. You haven't seen any people or creatures or anything like that. I mean, other than, like, typical, like, a bird, a squirrel, usual things that you see out and about during the day. But yeah, no people, no monsters, no big creatures or anything like that.
In case it snows harder, it might be smart to put the hut near the trees. Catch some of the snowdrift before it hits the hut. That way we don't have to dig ourselves out if we get snowed in.
Yeah. Oh, I guess
Good idea.
I guess I should roll for the weather, shouldn't I?
Yeah, as we turn in, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the time you're ready to camp for the night, it does start to snow again. But it's very light, kind of powdery snow. It's not heavy, sticky snow.
Sin is almost like bouncing a little bit, trying to catch Rev's eye of like, I got something to tell you.
Yeah, I think Rev has been a little withdrawn this day. Maybe looked a little tired, but we'll let you catch her gaze as we're sort of settling down.
I think that's exactly why he's even more excited of like, oh man, Rev's gonna love this. And he like scoots in real close and he's like, I've been playing with this Edem pendant, and I think I did something.
Point of order. When Sin starts talking about the Edem pendant, am I hearing static?
So I guess the question is, and I probably have this written down somewhere, I just don't remember where exactly. When you gave this information to Furos, did you tell him about Sin's experience and the tower itself? Did you include talking about the pendant when you spoke to Furos?
Let's see. What I have written down is specifically, I lose the memory that Sin has been given Edem's favor.
Okay, so
then,
which
feels like static. It includes the
it's
pendant.
Static. It's completely static.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Is Sin like, did Sin pull it out or anything, or is it just talking?
Oh yeah, he's holding it.
You can see it, you just don't understand what it is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh?
Yes, so when I spin it, and then he starts the gyroscopic motion, I can hear it's not just humming, it's almost like notes. And if I stop it on a particular note, it does something. But I don't know what it does yet.
And how do you know it does something?
Because when I was listening to it earlier, I noticed that Dayu and Kazuhiko could also hear the hum. But when I stopped it, I heard a tone in my right ear. But Kazuhiko and Dayu didn't react to it, and it was an unpleasant sound. And I think Sin like puts the pendant in your hand and just sort of like tells you like, all right, spin it, and I'll tell you when to stop it, and we'll see if you hear it too.
Rev will follow the instructions.
And I think he chooses a different note this time, Mandy.
Okay. So you're choosing a different note.
Yes. Like maybe something lower in the hum when it sort of like flows downward.
Okay. I love this. This is great.
I'm so concerned.
You spin the gyroscopic pendant once again, and you wait for the lower register hum. Revelation, you can hear this. And you watch as this thing turns on itself and seems to endlessly move on its own with very little interference from Sin. And when you flatten it on the lower register, oh boy. I need different music. Do I have EDM music? I forget.
Something is
Of course I had Rev hold it. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Hey, Rev's probably gonna love this.
Is she holding it?
Yes, and it was like I want to know if you hear it too. Like if when they stop it, if something happens.
You don't hear a sound.
Either of us? Or just me?
No, you don't hear. Neither of you hear a sound. I'll just leave this music. I don't think I have EDM music. That's okay. Everything slows down. Only for you, Sin. You realize that Rev is moving very slowly. She seems to be stuck in a moment. The snow around you has slowed to a crawl, ever so slowly. Almost still suspended in air, but you can see that it is moving very slowly. The sound of Revelation's breathing echoes. You are moving normally. And so is the pendant.
I think he... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is what you see. Everything's kind of slowed down for everything but you.
He reaches out for the pendant to, like, pick it up from Rev's hand, and is... I think, again, he's sort of, like, confused and tries to wave his hand in front of Rev's face to see if, like, he's making a guess at what is happening, but he's trying to sort of test out, like, what's going on. How long is this going to last?
So you wait and to see how long it's gonna last?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like he stands up. He's like trying to wave his hand in front of Rev's face. He looks
Yeah, no
around.
reaction.
Okay.
You wait. You watch the gyroscope move, and you watch the time. 1 minute. 2 minutes. 3 minutes. 5. 10. It's still slow. Everything's slow.
Okay. Sin starts to get really anxious when 10 minutes pass on the thing, and he's like okay. Low, slow, and then he spins it, and he's trying to listen for a high note to like stop it.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Natural 20, baby.
Let's go. You listen and you instinctually feel the correct tone. And you flatten the disc again. And time seems to right itself. Once again. I really gotta fix Nightbot. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's doing that. Everything seems to right itself. And did you move from your spot at all? Did you walk around at all?
Yes, like Sin was like sitting next to Rev, and now he's like by the door of the hut, just sort of looking very confused.
Yeah, revelation. About a second ago, Sin was next to you, and you were holding the pendant, and you blink, and Sin and the pendant are now over by the hut.
I didn't hear anything, but what are you doing over there?
I was just stuck for 10 minutes. It hasn't passed anything? It was just...
You were here a second ago. What do you mean stuck?
Time slowed down. Everything was moving, but very, very slowly, but I could move any way I wanted.
Can you do it again?
Sin looks down at the pendant, and he seems almost nervous about that. And Mandy, he's gonna try to make it happen again.
Are you gonna try for a lower register or a different sound?
I think he's gonna try to do what he already did, which is the lower register.
Okay. You do it easily.
And so I think what you see, what Rev sees, is Sin is standing by the hut, and he started the pendant, and then 1 second later, Sin is right back next to her, with the pendant stopped in his hands.
Again?
Huh?
Again? It worked?
Yeah, I was over there.
You blinked and he was next to you again. He was by the hut when you told him to try again, and you blink and he's next to you.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It makes different notes. So it might do different things.
It slows everything for you. What else do you think it could do? Speed everything up?
I mean, maybe it's from.
Yep. I hear static.
And I think he starts talking about like trying to remember that night, and he's like talking aloud, and all you're hearing is static. It's just.
Rev is trying her best to look like she understands what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have no fucking clue. I will say, during this conversation, the more of a look you get at this pendant, you recognize the symbol. You know it's the symbol of Edem. So you're able to piece that together without being blocked.
Do you think you could turn time back?
I don't know. I feel like that might. Sin thinks about what he learned in the Undercity, what he hasn't been able to share yet, and how time is already kind of fucked up. And he looks at it and he's like, I worry that might upset the gods.
It's a pendant of the gods. Or of a god, at least.
Have you ever had a gut feeling that something could go terribly wrong if you mess around with it too badly?
Completely straight-faced. And I think not realizing that she's lying to herself, Rev is just like, not really?
Maybe I'm being overcautious. Because he believes in you. He believes, he listens to you. God, he's gonna die that way. Mandy, have I been having any side effects from this? Is Sin feeling anything weird, different, or than after using this power?
Other than anxiety, yeah, high blood pressure. Other than being like, what the fuck? No, you don't feel anything different. Granted, for you, only about 20 minutes has passed. Even though it's been seconds for Rev.
Yeah, that's already kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Other than what the fuck, you don't feel anything.
Okay. Yeah, I think sort of Sin.
Yeah, you're not turning gray or anything like that, if that's what you're wondering.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
That or like mana sick or something. I don't know. Magic is weird to Sin.
Yeah.
Especially this weird ass magic.
Yeah, try the other registers and see what happens.
I
kid.
I mean, the thing is, I'm really interested in doing so. But so like, is this good television? You guys? Okay, I want to try at least a very high register and see what happens.
So this is attempt number what? 3?
3. Well,
Okay.
technically 4 if I count earlier.
Yes. Okay. You spin.
I have
the
no idea how
gyroscope.
many charges this is. This has.
It's really not charges. It's more of like a.
Okay.
It's there's a system to it, but it's not charges.
Okay, good. Good to know.
You spin it.
Mm-hmm.
The hum is quiet now.
Hmm.
You almost don't hear it.
I think he even raises it to his ear and then looks at Rev and he's like, It's not gonna let me do it this time. It's not as loud. Do you hear it?
I never heard any of it.
Oh!
You could hear the hum before, but you couldn't hear you couldn't hear anything after he went to do, like when he said that he would hear a ringing in his ear that wasn't the hum. You couldn't hear that. You could hear the hum.
And can I hear this hum as well, or it's
you
just...
can't hear this one.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, I could hear...
too low a register for you.
I could hear it before, but not anymore.
I guess it's done for the day. Or forever. Oh god, I hope I didn't just use it all up. Like, Sin flattens it and is just like... It'd be really... really a waste if I just used it all up.
Well, if you hadn't tried it, then you wouldn't even know what you had, so you're no better or worse off, I suppose.
Yeah.
If it is truly gone.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it merits further investigation.
Certainly.
Thanks for doing this with me.
Thank you for showing me.
Of course, you're the smartest person I know.
I don't know that that's true, but if it's what it takes for you to keep showing me what you find.
Are you okay? You've been kind of off. You know, I like to give you your space, but that was pretty self-deprecating.
I didn't sleep well. Homesickness, I guess.
Yeah, I don't remember you leaving last night, but I remember waking up and not finding you, and I was like, oh. Already looking at the stars out here.
It's a nice change from our last venture, at least, being able to go outside and see them.
You know, if you can't sleep, I don't mind you waking me.
You need your rest. Who else is going to slay all the dragons and ogres?
You, Nikita, Aurora, Kazuhiko, Dayu. I feel like...
I mean, historically, it's been you, Sinark.
The final
Shambling
blow
mounds.
isn't... The final blow isn't so important as the people who do the most damage. Well, I guess I do my fair amount of damage. I just want you to know that you're not alone. And I want to be by your side. No matter what comes.
Rev fidgets a little bit, looks over, like, almost subconsciously to where in the dream, in the past, Furos or this other person have been standing. Stops herself, looks back at you. No, I know I'm not alone. But thank you.
See? Smartest person I know. You already know what you know. And I think Sin gets up and goes inside to excitedly tell everybody that he has a pendant that can stop time, but maybe it stopped working forever.
The one you got from the temple?
Yeah.
Is that what you were playing with earlier?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's a lot quieter now. And then before I think I did it wrong? Because nothing happened before. But this time slowed down. And then I was stuck for like 10 minutes because I didn't know how to fix it. And everybody was still standing still, and you guys were just standing still. Well, you guys were kind of moving, but then the snow was kind of moving, and then Rev was kind of stuck, and I was like, oh shit, how the hell do I get out of here? And then I spun it again, I stopped it, and then time started again.
Did you sleep well?
Yes?
I figured I'd ask.
I promise it's not like a... Rev can tell you, like, I disappeared, and I was by the hut, and then I disappeared again, testing the thing again, and I was right next to Rev again. And not even in a prank way.
Next time, put paint on you to see if it dries.
Oh. Yeah.
That
If it
way
ever
you
works
know.
again.
Inspiration
yeah.
for Dayu, because I love that. You get a luck die.
Thank you. But yeah, no, that way you know if it affects you specifically. You know, like, what happens if you have a boo-boo? Does it age? Do you age? Very important questions when you're messing around with time.
Yeah. That's the part that kind of scares me.
Maylin kind of pipes up next to you, Dayu, and she says, yeah, he moved really fast. I saw
You
it.
saw?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Did it look weird?
I'm dead. Time doesn't really...
Well, yes, but did it look weird?
You looked kind of like a ghost. You were moving so fast. There's like a lot of you.
Maylin said she saw it.
Oh. There you go, Nikita.
She said you look like a ghost.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I don't know if I saw the whole thing.
She doesn't know if she saw the whole thing. I'm the only one I can translate for it. I'm gonna do it.
I mean, Kazuhiko can too. But
Oh, well, then this is hilarious.
Kazuhiko is just like, you said that's from Edem?
yeah.
That is exceedingly rare. Oh my god, I really need to make Nightbot stop. I'm so sorry. That's the Sand Devastan amulet. Stop it! Get me out of here.
No, and you gave it to the Latine. Oh shit, you're gonna die soon. Bye-bye.
No.
What did I do?
This is a Cyberpunk Edge Runners reference.
Oh.
You should watch the show. You'll cry.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh God. Okay,
You'll
I'll
cry.
watch it.
You'll cry so good.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna...
But yeah, I think what? So what did Kazuhiko say? Oh, he said that's from Idem, and he said it was extremely rare. And Sin's like, yeah, and I traded it for like a self-made, like holy symbol.
It sounds like you made an offering.
Oh,
Huh.
I found it.
And again, all Rev is hearing is. You know, did I ever tell you guys exactly what happened in that temple?
You told me.
Yeah. Though, I don't think anyone else said it was a temple of Idem.
Who's to say?
Mm-hmm.
Nissos technically has no temples or followers. There are followers, but they don't stay in a temple. The temple takes care of itself. And me, sometimes, when I can find the time.
Like, takes care of you, like, almost kills you.
No, that one was my fault. I'm a little prone to it, my bad.
Please don't do it again.
I won't.
Thank you.
He's bossy.
I imagine the Lord of the Dead would be.
Well, I mean, I'm very used to going to guards to establish the connection first. I'm very used to doing that. But I mean, if he wants to come to me, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. As long as he keeps those creeps away.
That's gonna be hard.
I figured. But I really didn't like how that guy talked to you.
Mm.
But yeah, like, catch you guys up. Aurora, Nikita, Kazuhiko. Rev and Dai, you already know this. And then...
Yep. Yep. He goes through his whole spiel. Revelation, you hear almost none of it. You just hear, like, the regular words that aren't the knowledge you gave up. So you hear, like, you know, all the filler words, the ums and the uhs, you know, typical words that have nothing to do with the temple or Edem. You hear those words, but the important information, it's just static. So you hear just enough to get, you think, enough context to pretend like you know what they're talking about, but you don't. But you finish telling the story, and Kazuhiko looks like... He looks at all of you, like, amazed. You know, it's... I'm not saying we're weird or anything. He motions to the group as a whole. I don't think the average person interfaces with the gods quite as often as we do. It's a little weird, don't you think?
Yeah.
Have you interfaced anymore, Kazuhiko?
No. I wish I remembered. I still don't remember exactly. But it's clear. Something happened to me.
Yeah, they filled up your chest. Kind of rude.
I mean, and above table, I believe he kind of figured out that it's Nissos. And
yeah.
Told him like a couple times, yeah.
Kazu hasn't hidden that from the party either. Like, he didn't like shout it from the rooftops, but if it came up, he would mention Nissos.
Oh yeah, I think Sin, because I think Sin's just trying to lighten the mood a little bit. Like he knows, but he's just trying to lighten it up.
Strange. What does it mean? That's what I want to know.
You'll find out. Unfortunately, with time. Not. No, the gods are like.
Is that a pun?
Surrender.
Because we're talking about.
I'm so glad you caught on. But besides that, I mean, it's also true. Not all the gods are as talkative as some. Even if you pray or beg.
Maybe the Caligo Shira were right. Maybe the Caligo Shira were right and we're special for some reason.
How much do you think they knew exactly?
I think they knew a lot more than they were telling us. Their conversation with Irgon proves that.
Sure.
Power tends to recognize power.
That's true.
I really didn't think I was that powerful back in Blackade. I kind of just went along on a whim.
Power also recognizes potential.
Sin looks bashful.
I don't think any of us knew what we were getting into at Blackade.
No.
I'm glad we didn't try. We probably would have been killed.
Yeah. Oof.
And if there's nothing else, we'll fast forward to nighttime.
Really quick, I
Yeah,
think
please.
after, like, maybe at nighttime or once, you know, this conversation has broken up a little bit,
Yeah.
Rev would like to corner Sin again.
Okay.
A little bit away from the group and just say, it might behoove us to... Actually, I'll ask above table. Verbal recollection static. Do I know, like, if Sin wrote this down, would I also not be able to read it? What happened in the temple?
You don't know. You haven't tested it yet.
Okay, great, perfect. So that's what I'm gonna do. So Rev quarter Sin. It might behoove us to write down all that's happening. Things that we don't understand for now. I'll do what I can about Southmore and the Undercity, but could you write out, and she sort of gestures to her neck where the amulet is sitting on Sin.
Oh, that's really clever. Especially if Sin looks a little grim for a second. It'll be important for people to learn later. If this ever happens again, I don't want people to be maybe as blindsided as we were. And he immediately just takes out his journal and sort of like sits down and would spend like his evening writing stuff out.
And I think once it's done, once it seems like you've come to a stop, Rev will ask if she can take a look.
You look at the
Sure.
page, and you can read every single word.
Amazing. Okay.
Roll me a religion check. I love the faces y'all make when I fucking.
Do I
You
want to
drop
use-
something crazy on us? Yes.
I'm gonna use a luck. Oh my gosh, okay, so that is a 23.
Oh, perfection. You think about it, like, what the fuck? Why is this working? How? And you realize the Lord of Lies, his domain is whatever you give up to him. Writing, however, is the domain of the god of knowledge. Furos can't take the written word from you.
Wonderful. Rev will file that away.
I think that's the end of that little scene.
Alright. You all settle down for the night. And I'm so glad you discovered that finally. You all settle down for the night. And let's see here. Nope, that's not right. Sorry. Oh god, I broke it. Uh-oh. So sorry. Why is this happening? Is this gonna work? This is not what I want. Actually, no, this is okay. This is fine. Closing time. No, I don't want to get fucking I don't want to get the MCA'd for that. I see those words and I can't help it. Get it away from me. Sin.
Yes.
You lay your head down and you go to sleep. Thinking about all the strange things you discovered today. And it's almost like your head hits the pillow and you become aware of the stained glass that you remember seeing in the Temple of Edem. Infinite. Millions and millions, countless shards of colored glass. In an infinite pattern that never ends. You look up, every possible version of you reflected infinitely. The sight of it is terribly disorienting, and yet it's a little comforting to know that you're not the only one going through this.
I don't remember the dream. But I do recall, like, above table that Sin was very distressed at last time when he saw all of these. But this time he is smiling and he's amazed and dizzy.
Mm-hmm. Welcome, Raiders. You remember the feeling that it evoked. And you remember in the dream that this is familiar. You've seen this before. You know you've seen it before. In the dream, it's not a new sensation to you. And you hear a hum. You look down at your hands. And the gyroscope is spinning already.
Do my reflections have the gyroscope too?
That is a great question. Some of them do, but not all.
I think I call out. And I'm like, can you hear me? Like, just trying to see if, like, the other reflections react.
You hear, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? 1,000 times. And none of them respond to you.
In this moment, he's trying to figure out what this means, what it all could mean, and then I think he looks at the gyroscope, and he times it like he has, and he flattens it.
What tone do you flatten it at?
I think
you can describe whatever tone you want.
Yes, I think it like a very like the shrillest, highest tone that it has.
Okay.
Like almost like a build up.
Yeah. You do that, and it's almost like somebody cast haste on you. But maybe a little stronger. You start leaping through time. And in the dream, you see a version of you that looks an awful lot like Valdin. You see a version of you that is a human. You see a version of you that is an elf. You see multiple versions of you that looks like you, but different genders, different gender presentations, different colorations, but still looking like you, different eyes, different clothing styles. You see a young you, a much younger you, on the same adventure. You see a much older you, standing over the graves of your fallen comrades. You see infinite possibilities. And in your dream, you are jumping through them all to the sound of that tone. And though the images stick with you as though it took a long time, you are in full recognition that all of this information poured into your brain over a matter of seconds. But it stops on its own. You didn't get to stop it. And you stumble when it stops. Like you've misstepped landing from a leap. You stumble a little bit. Your claws and the pads of your paws clacking against the glass.
Eat them?
When you say that, the word echoes not from the other yous. Your voice echoes, and everything else is silent.
Am I doing the right thing?
No response.
I think he remembers the temple again, where he would call out and be like, "Someone stop me if I'm not supposed to be here," and all of that. And I think he I think he just sort of looks down at the time and thinks about how he didn't stop. And I think he holds it in his hand and is like, if it's broken or wrong, I'm gonna try and put it right.
When you look down at the gyroscope to check the time, seconds passed from when you first looked at it originally, from this leap through time. When you look down, you catch your reflection in the glass. You look old. Your snout is all gray. Your eyes are less vibrant yellow. Teeth more yellowed and old. You feel old. Aches and pains of a life long lived. And just as the shock, the horror of such a change hits you, you wake up screaming. What do you do? Everybody hears this, by the way.
Yeah, so everyone hears Sin screaming, and I think he, like, wherever he is, he, like, sort of tears himself loose and has to, like, run to, like, his pack and try and pull out, like a little looking glass.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his face.
Yeah, you pull out a little mirror to look at your face, terrified that you're going to see what you saw in your dream. You look normal. You look like you.
And do I remember, like, the whole dream?
Let's see. You do not.
So just this picture of growing old.
You remember messing with the pendant? You remember seeing young you, old you. You don't remember the other versions of you. And you remember seeing your reflection after touching this thing and looking old. But the rest, the infinite versions of you, the different variations of you in which your different lineages, you don't remember those.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, again, he's sort of, like, shaking, and he's, like, sort of looking, like, intently at the little, like, hand mirror, and he's kind of, like, not reacting except to, like, stare at this mirror.
Bad dream.
Yes. Sorry. One of those, aging dreams.
Dayu remembers that you've been fucking with that amulet. And we were we talked about the time god, had dinner, went to sleep. Dayu's just kind of gonna look at look at you, look at what you're holding, maybe your pendant, look back at you, and just kind of give you, like, a shrug. Told you you'll find out with time.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go see if there's any small game to hunt for some nice warm breakfast. And Sin picks up his bow and dips out of the hut. After apologizing again for waking everyone.
Yeah, it's nearly sunrise. The sky is beginning to lighten at this point, so it's not an unreasonable time for you to go and do that. And I think that, as Sinark leaves the hut, leaving you all confused and wondering if he's okay, is where we will end it for tonight. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had fun. Thanks to everybody in chat. Thanks for the subscriptions. Thanks for the raids and the new followers. Welcome in, everybody. So good to see you here. Thank you to my wonderful players, as always, for being amazing. When are we back? I have to check the schedule because I don't remember anything. My brain is mush. We will be back. We will be back. Oh, I'm losing my mind.
6.
Yeah.
The 6, I think.
We play next week. I was looking at October when I should be looking at November, because tomorrow is Halloween. Hey, tomorrow's Dragon Age Day. Dragon Age Day starts in about 15 minutes, which is why I'm ending before midnight. Yes, we will be back next week. Then, after that, we are off on the 13th. That is an off week for us. Then we will be back on the 20th and the 27th. The 27th will be, I'm not gonna say, like, it's like the pre-winter break finale. I don't know if that means anything special is gonna happen that day. Just so you know, that's our last episode for the year. That we are taking a break through December, and we will announce in the Discord when we come back in January. So the date for that will be announced. I'm gonna work on, hopefully I'll have time to work on some updated art for the winter arc, because we're gonna be here a while. So I'm gonna maybe I'll update the overlay a little bit, update the character art a little bit to be more wintry. So yeah, please join the Discord if you want to see what's going on. I post about all the games that I'm in, not just the ones on this channel. So if you want to see me as a player or as a GM on other channels as well, you can find all of that in the Discord, as well as anything going on with Mistlost. We post about pets a lot in there. We post art. Bunch of people post writing. We have a Mistlost out of context chat. We have a Mistlost chat if you have questions about Mistlost. Yeah, so we will see you guys next time. Tune in. Let's see. This Friday on Magi RPG is the return of Ancestral Blood, which I am very excited for. So come hang out with me in chat while they play Ancestral Blood. I will be there. It's over on Magi RPG. So good night, everybody. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next week. Bye.